What's up, everybody? This is Danger Deckman here with the first ever episode of the Danger Pod. I'm joined here with my two best friends in the whole world, B-Rad and Thomas. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up?
And right away, just in case, you guys do know who Thomas and Braden are because they've made a lot of appearances. Braden played Mr. Blight in SCP-Parody-B, and of course, Thomas played Eric. And just so you guys know, in case there's like misconception, they are twins, so they do look very, very similar. But I assure you, they are very, very different in their personalities and sometimes taste. I mean, we basically all have the same taste in like retro video games and stuff.
Yeah.
So, of course, to dedicate the first episode of this podcast, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the origin of MetalSonicUnleashed, the channel, which actually involves meeting Thomas and Braden. So this is going to be like really fantastic. We've known each other probably as long as the channel has been around, so about like 8 to 9 years.
Not even. Like, yeah. I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, it's probably been 10.
2008.
Yeah, we were in middle school, and the story of what happened, I actually met Thomas first. What happened was we were in lunch, and you guys just moved to my school, like the area around my school. So I didn't know if you guys knew a lot of people, but I just knew that you guys kind of sat by yourselves. And it was the first time I've ever seen twins in my life. I thought it was really, really cool. I was like, oh, wow. You know, because it's just, you hear about twins, but they're just like, I don't know if they're common or not, but I just think it's super, super cool. And I didn't really talk with you guys because, of course, I kind of felt a little intimidated. I was in my phase where I was kind of like awkward. I didn't really talk with that much people.
Was it because it was 2 against 1?
Yeah, it was. It was one of those situations.
Yeah, because every day we'd sit at the same table, same spot, always next
like
to each other.
But guess what? It worked. We eventually got our own friends that sat at the table with us.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because what Thomas did, I don't know what Braden did, but what Thomas did that he still does today is that he shows people videos. He loves showing people YouTube videos or things he found on the internet. And my first memory of Thomas was that he had his, I don't know, it was an iPod Shuffle?
It was a Nano.
Nano. And you would show
second or third generation. No, it was third. And the 8 gig one with the motion control or whatever,
which was cool at the time and funny. It's just because of the generation now that we have phones and stuff that can easily do that, but back then it was super cool. And Thomas just loved showing people videos, and I remember that's what attracted people to the table, well, through my perspective. But anyway, what happened was at the time, I was obsessing with the Angry Video Game Nerd. I thought he was the funniest guy ever. It was absolutely funny. Because not only was he like really, really smart with video games, but he was really raunchy. And it felt very taboo in my family because there was no swearing allowed. And it was at a point where I just had to listen to it with headphones because I feel like I'd get in trouble for listening to such a aggressive thing.
Yeah, that was the only way we could like really watch him, because before we had internet, we would just go to the district library and watch YouTube videos and shit.
You know, it's weird. My introduction to the Angry Video Game Nerd, there was a kid in my 7th grade art class that claimed to be related to him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was like, oh, yeah, my cousin or whatever is Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube or whatever. And I was like, huh. So I looked him up, and he looked similar, so I partially believed it. It wasn't until, like, I got older, I obviously knew better. But, yeah.
Basically, we have a huge love of the Angry Video Game Nerd, and ironically, that's what actually drew me to Thomas the first time we actually met. What happened was, because I was obsessed with the Angry Video Game Nerd, his style of humor and all of that, what eventually happened was, I think it was my friend, I'm not sure who it is, all right? I think it was Zach. And Zach was at the table, and I think he was trying to talk to you guys, right? And just because I was showing him on the bus, I had like a PSP at the time, and I had episodes of the Angry Video Game Nerd on it. So I went to show Zach basically an episode of it, and he thought it was hysterical. So we had that little connection, and I would always like go up to him and bug him and like sing the theme song. And I remember one time I went up to him and I started singing it really loud and obnoxious just to make a scene, and all of a sudden Thomas started singing it. Oh, I have that episode on DVD. And I was like, wait, no shit, really? You like the Angry Video Game Nerd? And that's kind of what blossomed the friendship of 10 years. It started with that. And eventually, because I didn't know Braden at the time, I just talked to Thomas for the most part. And then eventually when Thomas showed me videos on his iPod Nano, excuse me. Yeah, Braden would chip in saying, "Oh yeah, I like this video too," and then it segued, and I didn't realize that we had a lot in common than we actually realized, including retro video games and stuff like that, and style of humor. Because I can't even like count the times that you guys showed me a video where I'm literally on the floor falling and I can't like breathe, which is good because a lot of friends that I did have, the things they'd show me wasn't as funny as the stuff that you guys showed me. So it was like we were in sync, you know?
Yeah.
And to kind of further that friendship, what happened was I already had the idea, like when I watched the Angry Video Game Nerd, I specifically remember it was the introduction to the Superman 64 episode. You remember it was like trance and techno?
Yeah.
And I thought, look at this guy being so fucking cool, doing all these videos. I was like, I wish I had my own introduction with all that stuff. And it blossomed. I was like, I wonder if I can get away with doing my own show, you know? So this is the biggest reveal of the podcast. If you didn't already know this, which you should have known, but the Suicidal Gamer Geek is 100% a ripoff of the Angry Video Game Nerd. I may have denied it in middle school, but of course it is.
It's all coming together.
It's so obvious, too. And I told Thomas, this was before I even came up with the show, just to make this seem like I was cool in front of Thomas. I was like, oh, you know, I have my own Angry Video Game Nerd show, right? And Thomas is like, really? And then, of course, I was like, okay, now I gotta actually make it. And, of course, I made Silent Hill Origins.
Is that really how that started?
That's exactly how it started.
I thought you were doing your... Well, you know, I fell for it. I thought you were doing your own thing for a while.
You did it to, like, impress us?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Isn't that great? Isn't it like a great truth?
That's pretty good.
I love
Holy
it.
shit. I
and
didn't
it gets even
that.
further, because it gets even further once we talk about Slime Bomb Night and stuff. It's all about impressing my friends to try and look cool. And now I just don't give a shit anymore.
Now everything that I thought was pre-established before we met was a ruse.
Exactly. To be friends. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Isn't that heartwarming?
It's pretty...
Anyway.
It's wholesome.
Exactly.
Nice to know that the person I made friends with was not actually there.
Yeah.
It was a facade.
So what happened, though, of course, is I made a website, right? And I posted the first episode on that website. And of course, once I posted it, I texted Thomas, because we had our numbers at this time. This was during a time where texting was kind of strange, because it was new, I guess.
And that was when my brother and I shared a phone.
Yeah. And I texted, I said, the video's up, and I don't know who watched it. I think it was Thomas. And I went back to the website, and the first comment was Thomas. And he said, wow, great video, can't wait to see more. And of course, I was like, oh, gotta make them now. So that's what started the whole series. And eventually, it developed into the world-renowned money-making series that is the Suicidal Gaming Geek.
Yeah. Our dozens of fans.
Yeah. Or millions of fans. But I actually want to take a moment to appreciate the fans. Yeah, because our fans are actually kind of really, really cool. I'm actually very appreciative. A lot of them do get in touch with me saying that they grew up with that videos and they're kind of nostalgic. Even though they're bad, there's something about it that's just kind of fun. You know, it's like, oh, look at this little dork-ass kid
really
making
say
videos.
Bad. I would say more like innocent.
Yeah.
Because, it was you taking advantage of the resources given to you, like jumping onto the hood of your parents' car in an attempt to make it look like you got hit.
Oh, that's great. And making like costumes out of actual
fucking paper and just and throw away leftover Halloween costumes.
Come on. How can anybody actually like hate that? Just be like, oh, this dude's not even trying. He could have had bugles. Instead he has like popsicle stick wrappers around his fingers.
Exactly.
I'm referencing the Sonic Unleashed episode.
Oh, do you know what that was? Actually, that was me taking construction paper and just...
Oh, you just crumpled it up?
Forming it into a claws.
I thought it was actually like popsicle wrappers. Like you just held onto them and then you just crunched them around your fingers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The quality is so bad.
Are you talking about the werehog?
Like. Yes.
Claws?
The werehog claws.
Oh man, that looked like paper. That was like... It was like scrunched up. I didn't say anything because it was like that time of the internet, or at least for us, where as long as you had a presence on YouTube, you were automatically like the coolest person in the room.
Oh yeah. Me and Thomas
so like we weren't. You didn't have to impress us on a technical level.
Right.
You just had to have your face on another platform to where we didn't have to see it in person.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're being an asshole.
I didn't. Okay, holy shit. I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to sound like an asshole. It's just like,
oh, dude, it's
cool.
fine.
My friend's on the computer. Not just on the computer. He's on YouTube.
He makes YouTube regularly.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, regularly. Keyword here.
That was another thing. So when me and Thomas lived in
lived in undisclosed location.
Lived in undisclosed location.
I'm gonna bleep that out. It's gonna be so funny.
Yes. Yeah, lived in redacted by the SCP Foundation. Yeah, when we lived there, we watched like MTV a lot. We were super into like skits and comedy shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it
back
was
before YouTube. Like Google Video wasn't even like a thing yet, and once it was, we were just sort of having a field day looking up things that we liked, like Mario or whatever. But
yeah, we would look up like Super Mario bloopers, which would just be
Super Mario bloopers.
It was basically, and I remember it introduced us to Scatman John, but there was like a 4-parter episode of basically just gameplay footage of Super Mario 64 with text pasted over the entirety of the screen, and that was supposed to be like dialogue of Mario.
Oh yeah, being we thought that shit was
crass.
hysterical.
Yeah. Like,
but before we had access to YouTube or any of that sort of stuff, me and Thomas would make these cringy little skits in the same vein as like the Andy Milonakis show and things that we at the time had assumed would be funny. I don't think we showed anybody.
Yeah,
we
didn't
just have
do
tapes of shit.
We didn't make the shitty sketches ironically. It was just because they were actually
we had
that
a camera.
Bad.
I love it. I love that the fact that you guys like try to get into like, you know, videos and sketch, which is a good segue because the first person to really make an appearance really on camera of one of the friend group was Thomas playing Scissorman, followed by Braden playing the cop. And we just had the fucking time of our lives. We're just laughing our asses off.
Oh, yeah.
It was all a matter, it wasn't really a matter about creating content at that point for me. It was just kind of having fun. I just enjoyed making the video. And it was really, really funny. A lot of crazy shit happened, including when I smacked Thomas right in the face with the phone. Do you remember that, Thomas?
Yeah, I remember. That was the clip you ended up using. And I remember, like after the hit or whatever, I was like stunned for a second. And then I actually reached up from I was like, you actually hit me.
Exactly.
I said that. I don't know if you could hear that in like the blooper.
Yeah, I think you can actually. I'll have to look back at it. What were you gonna say, Braden?
Kind of side note, only because it's like related to Clock Tower.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching JonTron's Clock Tower review, and once it like cut to a POV shot of like Scissorman and Scissorman,
and he was using hedge trimmers.
He was using hedge trimmers. Yeah, no, I got like major flashbacks. I
got goosebumps just thinking about.
My God, we did this already.
That's
even the bad barricade that like tried to stop him of you throwing the box and
oh my God,
JonTron putting the tape up, which are two completely different things entirely.
Oh, that's crazy.
Did Clock Tower actually scare you?
Yes, the music scared me.
I still find it creepy, like when he's actually like stalking you, because like it's not like a scripted event where he pops up and disappears until like the next random encounter. No, he's a free roaming threat that you can just barely outrun. So it's like the fact that like he'll be on the same screen with you is just terrifying. It's like, oh shit, it's gotta get forward.
The part that scared me though, that recently, and I was just telling Thomas about this, it was really, really creepy, but I was playing Clock Tower again just for nostalgia, and it was really, really cool. But there's a part where the music plays, right? And for some reason there's a really weird sound effect. I was like, what is that sound? And it's like, and I thought it was part of the soundtrack. The soundtrack cut out for a second, and the sound effect was still playing, and it was fucking Scissorman's voice. Just going, and it's like muffled, and it's really creepy. It freaking sends shivers down my spine. So that game is pretty scary. The music is really creepy to me, but great game. As the friendship deepened, and of course Thomas made his appearances, Scissorman, and Braden made his appearance as the cop, I thought, you know what? Let's make a video where we're honestly like the main characters of it. And basically, I don't know who showed it to me, mentioned that there was this really, really scary game where you're in a hallway and there's a monster chasing you in the hallway, or a monster that would appear. Basically, it was just like a really, really claustrophobic type game with different endings. And Braden was getting all excited and telling me all these different endings, like, oh, one time our friend, he had the option to get killed by the monster or fall down a hole. And I was like, this sounds nuts.
Oh shit, this game, yeah.
Yeah, and of course it was SCP-087-B. And of course I played it and I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. And Thomas deepened my interest by saying, you know, there's a website just based on like these creepy monsters. And I'm into that kind of stuff, like kind of anthology kind of stuff where there's different monsters for, you know, that have their own things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not so much anthology, but you get what I'm saying.
Shout out to the
Anomalies.
SCP Foundation.
Shout out
by
to
the
the
way,
SCP for making us noticed.
Yeah, we're just like, it's like it's a website where people make like the best possible fucking creepypastas ever. Like the quality control is mint.
Yeah, whenever I get in the mood for like digging into lore, I'll just look up like Half-Life universe stuff and I'm just gonna dig through SCPs. I could dig through SCPs for
hours.
Yeah, I could watch like
to print
SCP
them out
videos
and put them into a filing cabinet
as well.
For God's sake.
No, anything dealing with lore is like the best. That's why I like Dark Souls. It's so deep, or anything like that. And that's why a lot of famous indie games are so deep. Undertale, it's lore. Five Nights at Freddy's, everyone loves that lore.
Also, pun alert with the Undertale lore being so deep. Get it?
Yeah.
Because under?
I get it, Braden. Don't worry. But of course, and I got into SCP. And I thought, it was so spur of the moment, I thought, why not make like a little parody of it? Because I thought it'd be funny to make fun of it, right? Because no one else did it, and it felt so weird to do something like that. So I was like, hey guys, I called them up, right? And I was like, do you guys want to like make a video real quick? And it was like very rushed. Everyone just came to my house. It was like 9 p.m., right?
It was like lightning in a bottle, though.
Yeah, exactly. There was no script, and it was so fun. There was a lot of...
It was at 3 a.m, too, I think.
And my dad's like, listen, you guys got to get the hell out of here. Because it was my dad's work, and we were just there running around like assholes. But it was so much fun, you know? It just goes back to like the clock tower video. It was just fun to make, you know? And I didn't expect it to blow up the way that it did. And we went there, and I just remember, there's so many memories I have. Like, when I was in the room and I poured water all over like my pants, and I had to do that line, God damn it, Eric, I don't want to piss myself at work. And I did it good the first time, but I wasn't recording. So I had to keep doing it until I felt like I was happy enough. And of course it already dried, so you can't even see it in the video anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
it was a completely different line. You just said, Eric, I pissed my pants again. Or something like that.
So, of course, when I posted the SCP parody video, it only got about 300 views. So I thought, you know, this was a lost cause. I never expected any of the videos to blow up because the Suicidal Gamer Geek videos were literally just 1,000 views. So I was like, whatever, just like a, you know, add variation because I didn't want to just stick to reviews. You know, I wanted to do other stuff. And that was one of those other stuffs. And then, of course, I went back to doing reviews, of course, and I think they get slightly better. I can't watch them anymore, though. They really, really make me cringe. Just
aged
awful.
like milk.
Yeah, exactly. It was just, oh, Jesus. But I'm more fond of the more recent episodes. I think they're a lot more grounded in more modern humor. But basically, what happened is that I just kind of left the channel after that. So this is where the channel kind of, I don't want to say it made a downfall, but I just kind of distanced my way from it. Yes, there was a drought where I moved on from college, and I don't know, in my eyes, I don't want to be like an asshole, but I saw it as like kind of a baby thing. Like that's something I did in middle school.
I mean, the name of the channel was fucking MetalSonicUnleashed.
My favorite Sonic character mixed with my favorite Sonic Unleashed video game. So I just thought that was funny. By the way, shout out to Metal Sonic, fucking great character. He's so cool. Oh my god, sorry, I'm geeking out because
that's all right.
I liked him.
Everyone play Sonic CD, please.
Yeah.
Before I, of course, go to where Danger Deckman came from, I want to mention that this is an important part of the podcast of our Hangouts. So, of course, we met each other at school, but it got to a point where once I found out where they lived, I was literally almost living at their house. I was there like all the time. We were like Ed and Eddie, and it's just we hung out all the time. And of course, you guys had like N64, or you had this, you had that, classic video games. It was great.
Yeah.
But I have a distinct memory of when Thomas had a birthday. Well, you both had a birthday party, of course, being twins. You guys had a birthday party, and Thomas put in Heavy Rain. Because I didn't have a PS3, but Thomas had all the great games, and you showed us the finger cutting scene, and it was so intense because we never seen a game like that, and I just always had that memory of just, oh my god, that game.
We were all squirming.
There's so many memories.
I love how everybody got to like sort of, ooh wait, pick this thing up, do this, ooh use that. It was just so, it was great. It was like interacting with a movie.
When I was making the Suicidal Gamer Geeks, I think I got to Silent Hill Play Novel. And Thomas said, oh, did you post that new review yet? And I said, yeah, I posted it. And you're like, cool, because our friend Christian was excited to see it. And I was like, Christian. And I didn't know which Christian we were talking about because there were so many Christians at the school that I knew.
Mm-hmm. It was a relatively Christian school.
I was like wondering, I wonder if it's that one Christian that I met in line once. Like I was in line, I think it was at food, right? And I showed him a picture. This is such a funny memory because I know he's going to be listening to this too. I had a picture, and I considered myself a good drawer at the time for my age, right? Mm-hmm. And I showed him, I said, look at this picture. And Christian's like, oh, you like drawing things too? And he showed me this badass, hyper detailed picture. And I was like, I'm never drawing ever again.
Of course, the one guy I show the fucking drawing to has got like a whole book.
And that was my only interaction I had with Christian. I've seen him before. Like, we had the same, we went to 5th grade camp at the same time. I remember always seeing him just in the distance, but we were never really friends. So it was interesting that Christian was the one that watched the videos because you guys were mutual friends. So that's what developed the friendship with Christian, which was cool. And Christian has been in a few of the videos. Actually, no, that's a lie. Sorry. He was in a sequel to another Lost series, the Dilly Dally Detective, but that never came through as well. But he's always been an avid supporter, so that's super cool. And of course,
Oh, he was in a video.
Which video was
he? He was Slenderman.
Oh, yeah, he was Slenderman, and he was supposed to be in Zombie-Parody-B as well. There's so much stuff. Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot.
Well, no, he was in Zombie-Parody-B too.
Yeah, exactly. So he was in a lot of stuff. Sorry, I totally forgot about that.
No,
yeah, good catch. But anyway, I already erased Zombie-Parody-B from my mind. Jesus. There's so much we got to talk about that.
There's like a few trailers you made of Zombie-Parody-B, right?
I was so excited. I had this idea, but that was during the time where I didn't realize that you can't just make a movie of things happening. They have to be put together in a script and have a resolution. At that point, I was like, let's just do funny things. But, that never came through. But we'll get to that. That actually goes closer to the college days that I want to talk about, the dark ages, where I didn't see you guys, right? Yeah. Which developed me into who I am today. More refined videos as opposed to just making paper claws, as Braden mentioned. So at the time when I was in middle school, I was doing two things at once. I was making games and I was making videos, okay? Making games, like really, really simple games. I'll have to post them, like these really games from like 2000 and like...
What was the, what game site?
It was Yo-Yo Games, which isn't around anymore. And I used Game Maker. Yeah, it's not around anymore. But I have all the games on my computer, of course. I might upload them in a little fun pack. But I made like Adventures of the Blue Dot. Very simple games of like adventure games and stuff. And I did it all myself and I loved it, right? But it was so hard that I just never went through with it. And then one day, I remember the exact date. It was 2013, our senior year in high school, right? Where I just said, fuck it. I'm going to try and make a game, but with actual intentions to make it quality, right? So I made a game called Slime Bomb Night, which is up. I'll have to post a link in it in the description. Slime Bomb Night. And what happened was I just had this idea. I always have my ideas. I always have good ideas when I'm taking a shower because I have time to think and I'm just relaxed, right? And I was like, what if there's a game where it glitches out and you have to survive the glitches, okay? So I played with that idea, right? And that's when Slime Bomb Night came to be. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but I won't give too much away. But basically, it's a game that kind of fucks with your head. It's kind of like Sonic EXE. That's all I'll say. It's like Sonic EXE.
It's like an original creepypasta.
Exactly. It's like a creepypasta, right?
Not as cringy as the Sonic EXE also.
So what happened was I went through with that idea, but I did not tell Thomas and Braden at all. I didn't tell him I was making it. And one day I was like, I'm going to test the waters. I was like, Braden, come here for a second. And he was like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, and it was just Braden hanging out with me, by the way. Thomas wasn't here yet. Play this game. You're like, okay. And you played it. And as soon as it got fucking creepy, I'll never forget Braden's face. I looked at his face and Braden was like generally like freaked out. He's like, Tyler, where the fuck did you find this game? And I was like, wait, really? Like, I thought I was just fucking around. I didn't think I actually had something here, right? Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, by the way, I made this. You're like, you didn't fucking make this. I was like, no, I made it. You're like, no, you didn't. And I was like, Braden, look. And I literally had to show you the project file because you said it was something you would find on Newgrounds, some weird shit you'd find on Newgrounds. I was like, great. So, of course, that gave me the motivation to just push it, right? Mm-hmm. Here's going to be a cringe moment, but just bear with me. But this is a hard truth. When I was in high school, my whole life was trying to look cool in front of others, okay? And one of that thing was making my middle name Danger, because I thought that was the coolest thing in the whole entire world, because Austin Danger Powers had it, right? So, of course, Danger. Yeah, Danger. So I changed my name on Facebook, right? To my middle name to Danger, okay? And I just pretended that people called me that, and it never went through, right? So it was like embarrassing. So that's the origin of the name, by the way. I tried to make myself look badass. And what happened was, the more I thought about it, actually, I was like, it doesn't sound that bad when you get rid of the first name, just Danger Deckman, because they both obviously start with D. Yeah. And I was just like, hey, it kind of rolls off the tongue. So I chose that name to like distance myself from my old game like alias, TD Games, which was also kind of just awkward, as like a new start, right? Danger Deckman, this is my new stuff. I'm going to associate all my quality works with this name, right? And of course, Slime Bomb Night was the first game under the name Danger Deckman. And what happened afterwards, of course, is when I went off to college and I didn't see the twins all that much. So before I segue into that, is there anything you guys want to add to the whole Slime Bomb Night thing? Or
yeah, actually. So the Let's Plays people did of Slime Bomb Night and how every single one of them was not in English. It was like German Let's Players, Spanish Let's Players.
Yeah.
They're actually playing fucking Slime Bomb Night and actually fucking freaking out.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot to mention that. No, Slime Bomb Night actually got pretty... not big, but big enough that people actually played Let's Plays of it.
It did a thing.
It was great.
Yeah.
I have, there's articles written about it that I saved and all this stuff. I was really, really happy. So for that short duration, it was actually a thing. And that I was like, oh, maybe I should become like a game designer and stuff. So of course, one thing I didn't forget to mention, and I will do this, Braden, because it was at the request of you. But before I started Kitty, which is the game I'm making now, I tried to make an Earthbound clone that involved our whole friendship in high school. So that's actually a game that I started with RPG Maker for the longest time. And I actually have 45 minutes complete. So maybe in the future I might finish it and, bring it out there and you guys can see our fake kooky versions of our lives.
At least like complete the arcs that are started and then you can play like the cliffhanger thing. Like, will I make another one?
Exactly. That's what's cool about RPGs too, is that they can have more than one arc, more than one like act of each individual sort of beginning, middle, and end.
You're right.
But yeah,
I got you.
I wish you finish that game.
I mean, I might go back to it. I might go back and make my own original sprites for it or something funny. So now we reach the part in my life where after high school we had to split. So what happened was I went off to a university on the other side of the state, and at this point I was thinking, you know what, fuck it, let's go for film. It's what I like doing, and I'd rather have a job I enjoy doing than a job that I gotta wake up and be like, oh, I don't want to do this, Even though film is no walk in the park either, that is a pain in the ass, but I enjoy doing it, right? So I went off into school, right? And this was during the time where I was still dead set on making zombie apocalypse parody. Now, for new fans of this podcast or this channel, don't know, I tried to make a zombie movie with my friends, like really just get out there and start something, but it just never went through because I was just new. I didn't know what to do, we didn't really have any ideas. It was a fun thought.
It was always a new idea every time.
And it was just inconsistent, like, ability for multiple people to meet together at, like, the same time.
Exactly.
And just, it was making a movie.
Exactly. It was a pain.
Without a script.
And the nail that went into the coffin was when I took my first film class and my film professor said these iconic words that just fucking killed it. It killed zombie apocalypse parody. Where he's like, yeah, and if you guys are interested in showing me any of your films, not zombie films, I'm sick of seeing zombie films. And he actually went on a tangent about how much he hates everyone makes zombie films. And I was like, that's it.
To be fair, that was like during the zombie movie craze.
Exactly.
Where like zombies were just
Walking
everywhere.
Dead just started.
Zombieland.
Exactly. So
you were like riding the trend.
Exactly. So. But I went off and I just, forgot about it. I didn't even look at the channel for years and years and years. Came back, 500,000 views. SCP. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Because, like we said, we did it in one night. It was fun. It's pretty good. It's not my favorite thing.
We did it,
but
uploaded it, forgot about it.
Everything was, like, on the spot, too.
What
like,
the fuck?
There was never a scene that was pre-planned.
That was another thing. On top of, like, not being a script, it wasn't just, we had ideas, let's film it. We were literally
making up
locations
sequences
of scenes, being a fucking think tank, talking about, okay, what can we do? This is funny. Oh, what if this happens? Blah, blah, blah.
Basically, I saw all those views, and I was like, oh, I gotta make a sequel then. You know what I mean? It's like, I gotta make, I have to do something. It's been so long, I might as well do it. So, of course, I came home. And I don't want to say that because I went to college, I didn't see the twins all that much. I did. It's just that it wasn't like sleepovers, like back in high school, So, basically, what I ended up doing was, I was like, you know what, guys, let's record a sequel. And we were all a bit kind of, we didn't know how we felt about it, but we just went there. And this was at the time, I will tell you right now, this was I don't know, I think maybe I've been a sophomore. I wasn't really in tune still with script writing and like the process of filmmaking. So I tried to do it exactly how we did the first one. And it was kind of kind of all over the place. But I will say, Braden, well, sorry, were you going to say something?
Well, I mean, it was more... I do love the fact that we just went back and we're like, all right, we're going to try doing it the same way. Except this time, we actually had more of a mild idea. We had, like, the camera and microphones set up, and we just sat down, and then it pretty much turned into ad-libbing at that point.
Exactly. But the thing is that I was a bit worried about it at first, and so was Braden. And... I feel bad for Thomas. Sorry, Thomas, you're not in it that much.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I realized that too. Thomas was supposed to be in it more, but like I said, it was spur of the moment. We didn't really have any ideas. But if you watch the actual, was it B-roll? Yeah, the actual raw cuts of it, Braden's like falling asleep. We're just kind of going off on tangents and stuff like that. We didn't really have a script. We were just going with it, right?
We didn't even have that energy that we used to.
Exactly.
Around, like when the first time around.
But that went to our benefit because having Braden... Was it Blight or Bright?
I think you said Blight, because Dr. Bright is the real scientist.
Okay, Dr. Bright.
I thought it was Dr. Blight.
Having Braden just kind of being like...
How about you work one more night, and that way you can walk out with something at least. It's just one night, not bad. You've handled those before?
And I could tell you're just winging it. You're not acting, you're winging it. And it's the funniest thing ever. So I thought, why not just make it more goofy? Just have things over your lines and do all this.
Yeah, that was another thing.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Maybe 5 minutes of me just saying lines in front of a camera, and I couldn't tell you what they were. I just remember once everything was done, I was like really embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I was really tired and stuff and didn't really know what I was doing or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, the video's up. I'm going to watch it. And that whole ad-libbing thing was just done over with goofy sound effects. And I was so relieved.
Yeah.
I was like, thank fucking God it was anything like that. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, and then of course I couldn't get these because these guys were obviously busy with other stuff. I couldn't get them again. So the second half, of course, is just me. I just recorded because I was like, I got to finish it because the first half of it, I was a bit embarrassed we didn't get it all. And I was thinking, I got to do this for the fans, right? So I just put all the SCPs I could possibly. That's like the most SCPs I've ever done in the video, obviously. And I just did everything. I did the little ducky. I did SCP. The biggest one I wanted to do was, 9-6? I really, really wanted to do that one. Even though the lore is all fucked up, it's not about, like, he doesn't get triggered by sounds. It was still funny. But I had fun doing it, right? And I just thought that I just wanted to end it because it reminded me of my MetalSonicUnleashed days. So I was like, I'm just going to put an ending to it. So I just threw that ad-lib of, I quit. Just so I didn't have to make another one. But of course, I think I might do just one more with even higher budget. I don't know. Just not at the moment. The times, I'm not ready just yet.
Remember, it has to be a parody still.
Of course. I have so many ideas.
I'm actually just brainstorming ideas now. Yeah. Oh my God.
But we could
Everybody get hype. Yeah, the hype is real.
But we'll talk about that. Actually, I think I'll link this podcast to the SCP videos to say that we're talking about it. So I made SCP-Parody-B, and it did pretty well. Because I linked it to the old SCP video, and all the old fans came back, and they loved it. So that ranged a lot of hype, and people enjoyed that. So I was like, cool. I gave people what they wanted, basically, and then I left again. I didn't go back to MetalSonicUnleashed. That was literally going to be the last video in the whole channel, right? And so now we fast forward, right? And this is where I got my style, so to speak. I joined an experimental film class, okay? And in my experimental film class, we had to make our own personal video, right? So I made a video of me walking down campus and just messing with it, making it very psychedelic. I started actually adding glitch stuff, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of Slime Bomb Night, you know? Like, I really enjoyed doing glitchy stuff in Slime Bomb Night. And then the rest of the video was just glitches. And I was like, you know what? I kind of liked VHSs and all that kind of stuff, you know, old stuff, because I like retro
whole
stuff.
Aesthetic.
Exactly. Yeah. And I started doing that to all my videos, and then, of course, because Slime Bomb Night was the first that did that, I stick to the name Danger Deckman. I was like, this is it. I found my footing. Why don't I just start a fresh new start, right? Just like I did with video games. I wasn't TD Games anymore. I'm now Danger Deckman. I started a new account. These are my new favorite things that I make, right? So what happened was, basically, my plan was to start a new channel altogether, right? A completely new channel because I had a different aesthetic and stuff. But as I was making funnier video, like funny kind of videos within the Danger Deckman name, I realized this is kind of like Metal Sonic Unleashed towards the end, you know, like with the Bomberman 64 review. This is kind of the same humor. And I thought, what if I just take the old channel, you know, and just change the name? Because you can change the name now to Danger Deckman and just have all my old fans there because it's still the same humor, right?
Yeah.
It was just some new stuff. So that's kind of what
evolved.
It's an
evolution. Everybody that subscribed to you before is like, oh my God, this guy's still doing stuff.
So that's where we are. It brings us to now. We're still good friends, right? I'm out of college. You guys are just kind of working. We chill out, even though we live just a tiny bit far away, but not too far, right?
Yeah, like,
and I'm like
20 minutes away.
So now I'm like, you guys are now committed to this channel. So that's where we are today. I do want to mention a few things because we're probably going to wrap this up. This is a good episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I hope the listeners enjoyed it. But I do want to wrap up by saying that I have this thing where don't think that I'm not working on videos. I am working on videos. It's just the issue is that sometimes, just like Zombie Apocalypse, just like older stuff I tried to do, some things, ideas just don't go through. And I get rung up on those ideas, right? Or strung up on those ideas to a point where I don't make new contents, you know? So for the past few months, I've actually been trying to make videos, but they just haven't been right, you know? I want to make sure that these videos are right before I post them. Like I tried to do a Blade Runner analysis video and it just took so long, you know? I'm actually working on a new music video right now, but I'm just taking my time with it. I had to do this, I had to do that. I'm also working on my game. So I'm just kind of busy, but basically this channel is my life. You know, we want to make this as kind of more of like, we're encapsulating our hangouts. We're encapsulating our personalities, you know? This is just us giving a part of us to the audience, you know? So that's the whole basis of the channel. You know what I'm saying? So,
and leave any questions for us to answer in the comments, whether it be SoundCloud or YouTube.
So I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. And just because I want to be cliche, hit that little bell icon so you get notified every time a new video comes out.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Everything we do is out of love for you guys.
Yeah, and until next time...
live dangerously.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're going to start that
now. There you go. Yeah.
Got you.